Hello YouTube, this is nightemi and welcome back. Today I'm going to do a kind of a makeup look tutorial slash get ready with me, all about makeup inspired by Gringoire. And I know that you can see a picture here, or here. That is very theatrical makeup. It's theater, but I found some of the techniques, some of the ideas can be applied to like everyday makeup, and well, looking fabulous. I'm not going to name all the products that I use and all that. Most of them are NYX because it's just what is most accessible, cruelty-free stuff for me in my area, price-wise and location-wise. But it doesn't matter, just anything that's similar to that would do. Alright? I am though going to use a primer because I feel my skin, I've just done my skincare, but it feels a little bit thirsty, a tiny bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of primer mixed with a little bit of tinted moisturizer, and that should even out the skin for the beginning, and if we need anything else we can add that later. Alright. It's a glowy primer, by the way, but I'm just like, yeah, using it all over, even my eyes, because the thing is, the problem is I don't really have an eye primary thing right now on hand. And then there's going to be a tiny bit of concealer, and when I say tiny, I mean tiny, like tiny dots, tiny dots. The good thing about quarantine is that I've stopped caring so much about the physical imperfections of my body, and that's kind of nice. Like, I can just do what I want now, you know? I don't compare myself as much to other people or even to the girl I see in the mirror, you know? A lot under the eyes because, I mean, that area is going to be where we do most shadow work. And not the spiritual shadow work. Alright, the basic thing is that he has like these brows that are pitch black, and then the black line like underneath the eyes and the white-ish line in between. Since we are trying to be approachable humans and not somebody on the stage where you have to see the effects from like, well, it's not a mile away, but you know, far distance. We are not doing that dark, so I'm using a shade that's kind of, this one is the shade that I'm using. It's kind of going to be more contour-like, and then I'm going to add a bit of more of like the black parts, and it's going to be not as wide, not as pronounced, not as theatrical. My face is obviously not going to be as white, so the accents can't be as white as well. But we start with brows, and for brows, for a very long time now I've been using this one, this grey shade. It's somehow perfect, especially with like my white hair and dark roots. We need some brow action, so here we go. Honestly, eyeshadow works just as well as a brow product, and now we're going to make those brows not exactly the what was the year 2017 when it was the peak of the Insta brow, which is a horrible thing. And oh, and that's the year when they, well, 2017 is the year when they did the remake of Notre Dame de Paris, but it's not the same. It's just not good. And I realized that the problem with it, the reason it's not that good, it's just people there are too pop singers. That could work still, but they are very pop culture oriented, so it feels like they couldn't bring themselves to do something ugly and rough and raw, and so everything is a little too beautiful, a little too perfect, a little too done, you know? If you look at, let's say, the Clepin of the second one, he has this eyeshadow. When you actually, I was like terrified. I'm like, that's not him. It's not good. It's not good. I looked at footage of like rehearsals, and there he looked much better without the makeup, because it was more of the raw face. Now, of course, the original did a lot of like stripy makeup, but it was 90s grunge kind of vibe still. Like, they weren't trying to make pretty lines. They weren't trying to make the people more pretty. Ladies, yeah, although like the modern Esmeralda is so sexualized, and she's so the acting is the way that she's like so self-involved. She knows her sexuality, but the point of the whole thing is that she doesn't realize what her beauty and her movements are doing to men around her. So that's the point, that she doesn't realize. But this Esmeralda was very, very overtly sexual, like enjoying the attention openly. Especially in the sequence where she's like washing her feet. It's like very sensual washing, when it should be a very practical task, you know, with a practical idea of, hey, my feet are dirty, I need to clean them. And that's where, I think that is where they went wrong. Some casting choices may have been not the best, in my personal opinion, like some of the voices, but that's not as important as like they just kind of butchered and added too much modern things, as well as the clothes. They are too colorful, and not even the fact that they are colorful, but they are like, there's no imperfections. It's just like everything goes in the right angle, especially for the gypsy clothes. Like, okay, I understand for like the royal guard, or for the priest, you could do that, because those people, it makes sense for them to be like more perfected and such. So we've got these big brows. The reason I'm making them big and kind of blocky is because we're going to do a contour on the nose. That's going to be very straight down from the brow. It's supposed to come from the brow. And this brow on this side usually gives me a little bit of problems with that, because it's not the same. No brows are the same. For the everyday look, I use that shade that I showed you, and the brush that's very fluffy. Because if I did a strong brush, it would kind of make it more theatrical. And that's not exactly what we're going for. Like, we're going for like the feeling of the theatrical, right? But not it actually being very theatrical. Like, you want the vibe here, like that you have these brows that go and connect, and then there's a line. But since we are not on the stage, we are meeting people in real life, we don't want that line to be outdone. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow already here, but like, it's just going straight down. There's no fuss. It's not supposed to be very fussy or very... It's supposed to be quick, easy, and intuitive. Like, I'm making it so much longer just because I'm blabbering about the Notre Dame. Next step. I'm going to take a white liner because it's easier for me that way. I need to get some white underneath here. So this part where I have the lashes and like a line has to be all very white. And if we start with the light colors, it's easier to add the dark colors where they're supposed to be and not where they're not supposed to be. So what we need here is a line. I would suggest you try and make it go as straight across as possible. So not exactly following the eye shape, but more doing the straight, like from here, especially from here on out. It's gonna be straight, the straight line, because Gringoire, of course, he has less almond-shaped eyes than me. His face shape is a different And he's a man. But we can do the same. Then we need some little bit of darkness on the upper lashes because his face is not bare exactly. This is the more important part. So now we are going to take a liner brush and the same shade we used for contouring, but now it's going to be more shaped, darker because it's not a fluffy brush. And just draw a straight line. As straight as you can get it. Like the white should help you. If you got the white straight enough, the brown is going to be straight enough too. And the best part about this makeup, it's not a liner, it's not like a graphic liner look where you have to be like precise. No, it's grungy. The way I want it is to be grungy, is to be a little worn. The length should be approximately somewhere around your, where your brow ends. For me it doesn't matter because like I get my hair here and then it's just, everything is more perfect. But the brow should be going a little down. I'm going to take the same darker shade that I used for my brows, the gray shade, and add that to this one. So I'm gonna just go over that line, giving a little more texture to it. You can have a little bit longer, elongating the eye like around here, like have a little bit of the shadow. That's optional, you know. I just want my want it to look like my eye ends here, and then there's a bit of makeup, and then a little bit of blending, but like a little bit with an empty brush. Don't do anything harsh. I can do like a tiny bit more of the shadow, like up here. The next part is totally optional. I have this white primer thing, basically. That's what it is, and I'm going to use a little bit of it to give myself like a lift under here. And it's just a wet primer, so it's not like a concealer that's very white or anything. It's just like very, very soft. And I'm also going to do it like here. That's because like Gringoire has a little line there, but I'm going to blend it out. Lastly, he does have a little bit of contouring thing going on here, so that's what we're going to do with a cream blush that's kind of contour skin toned. And here I just don't want to bring it there, I want it to go more down and back, right? So just blend it like that, like so. Blend it like back, and it's a blush, it's soft. It's not like a harsh line. Lips. Now, he has very natural lips in the show. Let's do that just a little bit on here of a darker liner, but like a natural dark. You know? For me, I want myself to have some shadow, but I don't want those very fake lips. And then some lighter liner like in the middle. And if you want, you can add setting spray. At this moment I don't feel like I want to. I'm going to add some mascaras because I've seen that he wears a lot of it. But only to the top lashes, because the bottom lashes here, see, they are not supposed to be visible. I actually haven't used much mascara in ages. So see, if you look down, it's kind of like you have these lashes giving a shadow. If you look up, you have like this. Cool. This has been nightemi and a Gringoire inspired makeup tutorial. Welcome to this world. Whew. Now I should get like a coat. Like, oh, okay. Now I'm good. And now let's say goodbye with. Il est venu le temps des cathédrales, le monde est entré dans un nouveau millénaire. On a voulu monter vers les étoiles, écrire son histoire. see you next time.